and then you're going to snip off like that, and then we'll collect them up. Do you want to have a go?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so snip at the base, so grab it by the base like that. So, and then snip it, and then we'll pop it into our bag to take home and wash to use. That's it. Make sure you get right at the base though, yeah? That's it. Good boy. Okay. Oh, there's lots here as well. Nice, yeah, nice big tufts here. Yeah. That's it. Okay, so that's our wild garlic for our recipes. Whoops. There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. We are going to make some wild garlic pesto today. We went down to our woods, which is just around the corner, and Tegan and Finn harvested some wild garlic leaves, which we brought back and washed them well. We then dried them in this lettuce spinner, so they're nice and dry. And we're going to use this to make our pesto. You can use basil leaves if you don't have this, but it was just an idea because obviously it's spring at the moment of using something that is currently in season and local. So I'm going to put roughly about 100 grams. Recipes will follow, but I'm going to put roughly 100 grams into our Maggi mix, our blender. And Finn is grating some parmesan, holding the top carefully and grating the parmesan. Okay, and then we're going to blend our wild garlic. And once it's nice and blended and we've got the leaves soft, we're going to add about 80 millilitres of olive oil. I'm not using extra virgin olive oil because sometimes that can make it a bit bitter. I've just got light olive oil here. We're going to add a teaspoon of lime because we can't actually get lemons at the moment. So Tegan is going to squeeze the lime, and then we've got our measuring spoons here to measure a teaspoon. Finn is being very careful, aren't you, Finn, just to make sure that you're using the tip of the cheese. Careful with that part that we don't grate the thumb. Okay, and he's got about 50 grams of parmesan there. So I'm going to pop this on. That's it. Keep going, Finn. That's it. So just make sure that's it. Well done. Right, so we're going to put the lid on. We can use a pestle and mortar. Some of you have made basil pesto using a pestle and mortar at home. At the Beacon kitchen. We are going to use the Maggi mix today. Okay, so we're blending up the leaves to start, and then to loosen them down, we're going to use some oil. That'll start to loosen it. A little bit more. That's it. Well done. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. So vegans amongst us, instead of parmesan, you can use some cashew nuts, which give it a nice creamy texture. We've got some lovely pine nuts. So I'm going to add about 80 grams of pine nuts. I always tend to roast the nuts first if I'm going to use them because it just gives it a more of a toasted flavour. And you can use things like almonds instead, or whatever else you have. We're going to add a handful of those, like that. We're going to add our parmesan. Into our mixer, and then a teaspoon. Make sure that you check the measuring spoons to make sure you've got your teaspoon of lime juice. You don't have to add this. I just like a little bit of citrus in my pesto. And put a little bit of pepper if you'd like, pinch of salt, and then just put it on the pulse mode. Pulse it all together one last time. Okay. You can use your spatula to help you scrape the sides. up a little bit longer to make it not quite as coarse. There we go, and that is as simple as that. Deliciously fresh flavours. If I was going to use basil leaves, then I would add a little bit of garlic, just to give it a little bit of a hint of garlic. Probably a few slices of fresh garlic, but obviously we're using wild garlic leaves, so we don't need to. Cook up some pasta, and then spoon on a couple of tablespoons per portion for your dinner. Or you can use, we're going to make some gnocchi tomorrow, and we'll add some of our wild garlic pesto to that, so we'll put that on tomorrow. Let's have a look at what that looks like. Okay, so we can spoon that on. Ooh, that looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So tomorrow we can add some of that to our gnocchi that we're going to make. And that should be a delicious lunch or dinner. Because a lot of things are currently in short supply, if you don't have lemons, just use limes. If you don't have parmesan, use some mature cheddar. If you don't have pine nuts, you can use almonds or walnuts or something else. We just have to make up for ingredients we don't currently have. Fantastic, well done. Great helpers today.